We're in a brand new week, better yet, a brand new month. June is here, summertime creeping on in, and what better way to start your work week than talking Crimson Tide football, doing it on the hottest show on the streets for all things Alabama football news, notes, and information. You are locked and loaded on to in my own words with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, streaming this to you, well, coming to you via Tuscaloosa, but streaming this to you on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now and turn on those notifications so that you can have the best in updates, analysis, coverage, and content on your Crimson Tide. But we got a jam-packed show prepared for you today. A lot to discuss, a lot to get into, but we start off with introducing the man that stirs the drink, the maestro in the room, the guy dropping that flavor in your ear that you love so much, my right-hand man, John Ivory. John, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? What's up, Tide fans? Doing great. No, there's a lot going on, but at least we have In My Own Words with Stephen Smith, and we're going to have a good show.
Absolutely. We want you to be a part of the show, Crimson Tide Nation. You can do this by dialing 205-448-1358. Once again, the number 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you, your thoughts, your opinions, your viewpoint on the Alabama Crimson Tide. But we go to a couple of updates here to start the show, and we begin in sort of a somber mood as much as we enjoy the Iron Bowl, the Alabama-Auburn rivalry every November during football season. We love football, but here in the South, we also love individuals that make a difference and pave the way for other people. And we lost a pioneer today as former Auburn head coach, legendary head coach, and college football Hall of Famer Pat Dye died today at 80 years old due to kidney failure. Coach Dye, who was tremendous for the Auburn football community, someone of whom was a native Georgian, but he got his first big moment in terms of coaching, working with former, legendary Alabama football coach Paul Bear Bryant. And Coach Bryant took Coach Dye under his wing, treated him like a son, taught him some things. They both had a very precious, very beautiful friendship. Coach Dye was a linebackers coach on two of, Coach Bryant's national championship teams at Alabama, and he just wanted to be able to provide and have a way to where, just like Coach Bryant was mentoring young players and helping young athletes, he wanted a chance to have that type of influence and impact. And, of course, in 1981, Coach Dye got the chance, and being the head coach at Auburn at 1982, he beat Coach Bryant and the Crimson Tide 23-22 and was a part of, bringing the Tigers 4 SEC championships. He was a three-time, SEC Coach of the Year, produced a Heisman winner in Bo Jackson in 1985, just did a lot for that Auburn program, really brought the program up and made it successful. So as much as we enjoy football, we love football, we enjoy the rivalry that is the Iron Bowl, college football, the Auburn family, just the state of Alabama lost a great ambassador, a friend, a legend in Pat Dye, who went today at 80 years old due to a kidney failure. He also contracted the coronavirus, but our thoughts of our prayers of condolences, hope, peace, strength to the Dye family and the Auburn family. And along with that, another update here, as you have seen what's been going on here with our country in terms of the shootings that have been taking place, the murders, in terms of the racial injustice and also police brutality in the months here of February, March, and of course the month of May. We've had the deaths, the murders of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and also George Floyd to these instances. And you've seen the protesters out in the street from coast to coast. We have seen the riots. We've seen so much stuff break out on social media, on the television screen, and the thoughts from so many people, including myself, is when will all the senselessness, when will all the violence stop? When can we get back to loving, appreciating, valuing, just understanding each other and having a communication with each other as the human race, as one race, not seeing black, not seeing white, but seeing a full human race here. And I applaud the University of Alabama as Coach Saban released a statement attacking this issue. Dr. Bell, President Bell released a statement. You had Alabama men's basketball coach Nate Oates, athletic director Greg Byrne, Alabama women's basketball coach Christy Curry, and also Alabama softball coach Patrick Murphy. Everybody in the Crimson Tide program, former players, current players as well, using their social media platform to speak out and to talk about these things. And for me, as much as I may not always agree with what people say or condone what people say or co-sign what people say, I'm a firm advocate of let's have a dialogue, let's have a conversation, let's have a talk to get to the root, of these issues. And as much as people are upset about the racial injustice and the police brutality that's going on, all of the rioting, all of the tearing of buildings, the tearing of infrastructure, that's not going to really help anything. What's going to help something is being able to sit down with your law-making abiding citizens, having a talk, having a communication, having a dialogue, or getting a peaceful protest going, or getting a petition signed, something constructive, a strategy that would really sort of benefit the issue of let's get back to having a conversation and hearing people out. So that's just my thought. If we want to showcase the love, if we want to get back to being that one nation, not just one nation under God, but also one nation of hearing each other out and hearing every thought out, we got to get back to having a constant communication and a dialogue and seeking the proper solutions for this nation and this country. But just my thoughts and 2 cents on that. Really happy about the University of Alabama speaking out. But we dive into topic one of the conversation, what we really want to get into, and that's talking Crimson Tide football with the best fans, the Crimson Tide Nation. Well, JP, on last week, I decided to get rid of my coronavirus hair. I decided to end the quarantine afro, the quarantine hair. Went to the barber shop to get the cut on last weekend. As I'm in the shop, there were so many people. There were about a couple of people I was talking with outside, of the area, and the conversation was, of course, Alabama football. And 2 of the people I spoke with basically said, well, we just want Alabama to look good this year. We want the offense to look good. We want the defense to look good. We want the special teams to look good. But there was one particular person, and I don't understand quite how they knew my name. They probably are just fans of In My Own Words, and I didn't know about it. But the guy literally gets up and he goes, Steven, I don't give 2 cents about the offense. I don't care about the offense. It doesn't matter who wins the quarterback race. If Mac Jones wins, we're going to be okay. If Bryce Young wins, we're going to be okay. If Paul Bear Bryant's great-grandson wins, we're going to be okay, because you know why? Alabama's got the talent around the quarterback position, at running back, at wide receiver, on the offensive line, to where quarterback play is going to be fine. Don't really care about the offense. Don't really care about the special teams. My thing is the defense. Are we going to have the defense that we're so used to having? Steven, the last 2 years, especially last year, I have never been more ashamed and embarrassed of being an Alabama fan, because last year, that was not us. It's fun to score points. It's fun to put touchdowns on the board, but we're about defense, Steven. We're about slapping teams in the face and smacking teams in the mouth. When are we going to get back to having that defense? That 2016 defense, Steven, was the greatest team, was the greatest unit of all time. Do we have a Jonathan Allen on this defense? Do we have a Daron Payne? Do we have a Tim Williams? Do we have a Ryan Anderson, a Reuben Foster, a Rashaan Evans, a Sean Dion Hamilton? Do we have those types of personalities on this defense, Steven? Because that's what I want to know. Do we have the personalities on this year's Alabama defense? I want to see defense. So as this guy is talking to me about this and being very adamant, being very animated, being very passionate about his viewpoint, I took out my phone because I thought, you know what? This would be a great talking point here for the show. So right now, we are going to compare this 2020 group with the 2016 group in terms of the headline names that people talk about. So the first headline name that a lot of people go about is, Jonathan Allen. Who's Alabama's Jonathan Allen on this year's team? Well, I believe it is Labryan Ray. Labryan Ray is this year's Jonathan Allen. Like Jonathan Allen, Labryan Ray doesn't talk much, but he does his business on the field. He is dynamic on the field. He is a leader. He is a weapon on the field. He's battled some injuries, but he's back healthy. He's back 100%, and he is ready to take his talent on the field at 6'5", 291 pounds, around the same playing weight or at the same playing weight that Allen was. Labryan Ray a couple of inches taller than Allen, but he's a guy that resembles the toughness, the determination, the mindset, and wanting to get on the field and have that type of productivity that Allen had. So my Allen would be Labryan Ray. In terms of my Daron Payne, give me DJ Dale. Both guys from Birmingham, both guys were number 94. Both guys had strong freshman seasons. Now Dale got hurt as a freshman, but both guys strong freshman campaigns. We saw Payne as a sophomore in 2016 take a huge jump up, take a huge step forward. Expect the same things from DJ Dale in year 2. As for Christian Barmore is a very interesting cat because he's got like 4 2016 personalities inside of him. He's got a little Jonathan Allen, which means he's about that business, he's about that action, he's about that production. He's got a little Ryan Anderson in him. Christian Barmore plays angry. He plays aggressive. Ryan Anderson was always angry. He was always aggressive. There's a little bit of Tim Williams in Christian Barmore in terms of Barmore's first step off the line of scrimmage, off the snap, the ball, quick, explosive, efficient, dangerous, much like Tim Williams. And there's a little bit of Reuben Foster in Barmore. Barmore can be a little bit reckless at times. He wants to make those plays, throw his body around, hit somebody with the football, just hit somebody. And that's what makes this Alabama team very much so high on him and excited about him. So Barmore's got 4 guys in his game. Which personality will come out more frequently, more consistently, kind of remains to be seen there. When I look at Joshua McMillan, he's got a lot of Rashaan Evans in him. For McMillan, it's see ball, get ball. Go hunt the football. And that's what Rashaan Evans was in 2016. He was see ball, get ball, go hunt, tear somebody's head off, but get the football. And that's what Joshua McMillan brings to the table. In terms of Christian Harris, I said that Barmore has a little of Reuben. Christian Harris is all Reuben. He is flying around the field. He is shooting in the gaps. He is blowing plays up. He is sacking quarterbacks. He is knocking running backs 7, 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He is creating negative plays. He is going to take the command from the control center of Dylan Moses, dispatch the control out there, and be able to run around, hit guys in the mouth. And although Harris grew up with the defensive back's mindset, he is firm and solid on, I'm a linebacker, love being a linebacker, and that's going to make something happen. So Christian Harris will be Reuben Foster. I've mentioned Dylan Moses. Dylan Moses is Sean Dion Hamilton. Smart, instinctive, intelligent, outstanding communicator, a guy that's going to make sure everybody is in the right spot upon the snap of the ball, much like Sean Dion was. But along with the communication, a tremendous playmaker Hamilton was, and a tremendous playmaker Dylan Moses is. In terms of his freshman year, he was freshman all the SEC. Dylan's sophomore year, 86 tackles, 10 of those for loss, 3.5 sacks, Butkus Award finalist. When you dive into Marlon Humphrey, Josh Jobe. Marlon Humphrey, when he first came in, he was handsy, he was physical, loved to jam at the line of scrimmage, loved to frustrate receivers, would get called for pass interference and holding at times, and we had to scream and tell him to turn and look for the ball. But once Marlon locked in, he became one of the Crimson Tide's better corners. The same thing with Josh Jobe. Can be physical, can be handsy, sometimes he'll go too handsy, gets called for flags, but once Jobe locks in, he is going to be big time. And then for Patrick Surtain II, he's got a lot of Minkah Fitzpatrick in his game. When he came in 2018, people compare him to Minkah. People looked at him as Minkah, with the talent, with the work ethic, with the genetic makeup, as Surtain's father, Pat Surtain Sr., played in the NFL. So he's got a little Minkah in his game. But just going through some comparisons there of the 2020 team and diving into how they stack up to the 2016 team in terms of those personalities. But folks, want to hear what you think as we go to our first break here on the show. Upon our return, we dive into your phone calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your text messages, your concerns on Bama football after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care, in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99, and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month, or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Back into the action, folks, on Monday. Best form of Crimson Tide football news, notes, and information. Appreciate you guys joining us. In my own words, with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got the man John Ivory with me. And your time, Crimson Tide Nation, 205-448-1358. The number to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. The number once again, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you. You can also text with that number and leave a voicemail with that number. But as you're getting your thoughts together, interesting news here on Clemson wide receiver Justin Ross, who is having to have surgery on today with his lower extremity. I think it's a leg injury, but according to reporters for the Tigers, he will not be able to play, this season due to the surgery that he is having, and really a downer just due to the young man, the best receiver returning to the roster for Clemson to work with one Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, and Ross, a guy out of Central High School here in Phoenix City, Alabama area. But for Justin Ross, we wish smooth transition in terms of the surgery, that he'll be able to continue to play football, recover strong, recover healthy, have a good rehab, have a good surgery, so he can get back to playing the game that he loves, that being one Justin Ross. Just a little update there on him. But getting into one Kyle Edwards, as you guys are getting your thoughts together to call in. Kyle Edwards, the 4-star running back out of Destrian High School in Louisiana, he tweeted out on Sunday about him being really excited to get on campus, to be a part of the program and play for the Crimson Tide. He was one of 3 running backs signed in this class, along with Roydell Williams and Jace McClellan. And Edwards, a bit of a taller guy at 6 feet, 205 pounds, but very productive, high school career. Took his team, the Wildcats, to the District 7 Class 5A state championship in back-to-back seasons as a junior in 2018 and as a senior in the 2019 campaign. His senior year, he rushed for 1,000-plus yards with 16 touchdowns. His junior year, he had 112 carries for 706 yards and 8 scores. And when you watch his tape, Bama Nation, this is what you need to get excited about. When you watch Kyle Edwards' tape, he will remind you of T.J. Yeldon, Damian Harris, and Mark Ingram. His first step and his body structure kind of reminds you of Yeldon. When he hits the hole, he's a one-cut back. He's a one-cut runner. So once he gets into the hole and starts doing his business, whether it's breaking tackles, whether it's juking guys out of the way, whether it's evading, avoiding guys, whether it's providing the step on, whatever the moves he may put on a defender may be, kind of reminds you of Damian Harris meets a Mark Ingram. But we go to our first call in the queue right now on a Monday. You're live on In My Own Words. What's going on?
What's going on with Steve?
Man, I can't complain here, doing well in yourself.
I'm all right, man. I heard the first part of the show. I just want to see if I can get your thoughts on if you had heard or seen what was going on in Birmingham with the protests and everything. I know it's an Alabama football show and everything, but I just want to get your thoughts on that. I seen somewhere online somebody was talking about the comedian dude that said something, but I just want to get your thoughts on that. Hope everybody down there staying safe. Anybody that might live in the area, hope, you know what I'm saying? I heard there was a curfew, but I just want to get your thoughts on that and, you know what I'm saying, roll tide to everybody else.
Appreciate the call, man. Yes, I did hear about the protesting going on in Birmingham, and I've been dealing with, one of the guys, as you mentioned, the comedian Funny Man Johnson was mentioning taking down the Confederate signs, and there was, people breaking into, different buildings, different areas. The mayor of Birmingham got involved as he had a peaceful protest Sunday morning, so not sure as to why people came back out in this form and this matter. And I understand people are angry. People are angry. People are tired of the senseless violence. People are tired of the racism. People are tired of police brutality. And I get that. But at the same time, my viewpoint is finding a way to strategically, get your point across and stop it, because destroying your own city is not going to help anything. Destroying black businesses, destroying businesses in general, destroying infrastructure in general, destroying possessions in general, it's not going to help anything. In fact, it's either going to furthermore conflict and muddle up and hurt your own cause and make the issue even worse, because our law-abiding, law-making citizens, they're put here to serve us, serve the people. They have a duty to serve us. So as the people, we have the power to, if we see something wrong, we have the power to address that, but address that in a way that is convenient, smart, intelligent, ethical, convey that in a way to where our law-abiding citizens, our law-abiding people can really, come to a common ground with us, and we can be able to solve, the issue. So when we're out there destroying possessions and buildings like this, now this puts the power out of our hands back into the law-abiding citizens, and they're going, well, why should we help when we look around and we're seeing businesses destroyed, we're seeing infrastructure gone, we're seeing possessions messed up, we're seeing our city that we work so hard to defend and protect, it's going up in smoke because of folks riding around. So I understand the anger, don't get me wrong. I understand the frustration. I understand the anguish. I understand that this mess has got to stop. We gotta love. We gotta respect. We gotta honor. We got to do the right things here. But in in the form of the Meek Mill verse to his song, there's levels to this stuff. There is levels to getting something passed as far as the legislation as well. We got to be able to have a dialogue, have a communication, have a conversation with our law-making citizens and do this in a strategic way to where they see where we're coming from. We know where we're coming from, but have it to where they see where we're coming from and everybody hits a common ground. That's the thing we're trying to get back to in this country, is having a common ground and having a dialogue on this common ground. We appreciate the call there from the fan there. But we go to another break here on the show. Upon our return, we dive into the marquee role players defensively that need to step up if this group is going to get back to being feared on that side of the football. We touch it up after this.
If you want delicious home-style cooking, sushi, and hibachi, check out Otoro Hibachi in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. At home and you can't get away from the TV because the Crimson Tide is about to score? Don't worry, delivery is also available through Waitr and Crimson2go. That's Otoro Hibachi in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And make sure you let them know the good folks at Touchdown Alabama sent you. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, Crimson Tide fans, you are locked on to the best form of Alabama football content. In my own words, from the break, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, 205-448-1358, the number to be a part of the show. Phone lines open. Definitely want to hear from you. Get your thoughts, your views, your opinions on Crimson Tide football or whatever is on your mind. 205-448-1358. That number once again, 205-448-1358. And also be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, your notifications, so that you can get all the updates, alerts on your favorite program, the Crimson Tide. Well, jumping back to the defense of conversation here of the show, we go into the marquee players, the contributors, the role players. They're going to have to step up. And like the first segment I mentioned about how, the guy at the barbershop was telling me, Steven, does this team have a Jonathan Allen? Does it have a Tim Williams? Does it have a Ryan Anderson? Does it have the marquee, superstars that is needed to be successful? Well, just like you had those guys on that team, you also had marquee role players that stepped up on that 2016 team. Your Dalvin Tomlinson stepped up, the Deshaun Hands of the world stepped up, among other guys. So having those role players that are able to emerge, rise, and have Tide fans go, wow, where did he come from? Man, I didn't expect anything from that guy. Ooh, where did Alabama get him from? He really showed his tail. He really showed up and showed out. I was not penciling him down to be a solid contributor. So the role players, which role player is going to have to really, tighten up that chin strap, get out there and lay down the groundwork and get some stuff done? And just a couple of guys that come to mind for me. First off, you got Phidarian Mathis on the defensive line, and Big Phi Mathis, who came in the 2017 class out of the Louisiana area. And, Phi Mathis is a guy that can play either defensive end or defensive tackle, whichever spot that Alabama puts him at. But he's got experience. He's got pass rush moves. He can stuff the run. He's a guy that is part of this, 3-deep rotation on the defensive front. And people know Labryan Ray, people know Christian Barmore, people know DJ Dale, but this is a moment for Phidarian Mathis to step up and put his 2 cents in, to step up and show, hey, I can be a key cog in getting the Crimson Tide, not just back being in the top 5 in all 5 major defensive categories, but also get back to the college football playoff and win a national championship. So Phidarian Mathis comes to mind for me. Another guy is Stephon Wynn. People are waiting on him. I remember when he came in 2018, a 4-star from Anderson, South Carolina. People were turned up when Stephon Wynn put in his letter of intent. I mean, big guy, aggressive guy, athletic guy, mean guy, tough guy, really, strong, solid footwork. Hasn't had much of a say to this point, but now is his moment, right? Part of that 2 and 3 deep rotation on the defensive line. Now is his chance to state his piece, to speak his mind, to lay down the wood on the field and show that he means business, that he's the real deal, because people have been sort of waiting on him. He came in the same class as Christian Barmore. Another guy, people look at Ben Davis. Well, not Ben. Well, first, before we get to Ben Davis, King Wakuda is another guy. King Wakuda, who came in from Georgia in the 2019 class as a 4-star, a fierce pass rusher. And here is someone that down the stretch of the 2019 season, especially in practice, something started to click for this young man. I know a lot of people are looking at, well, Steven, we got Drew Sanders as a freshman coming in at outside linebacker. And Bama's got Will Anderson. And Bama's got Chris Broswell. And Bama's got Quandarius Robinson. We got all of these big, huge outside linebackers as freshmen that are going to make big plays. So, Alabama's got the talent. And true, Alabama's got the talent. But King Wakuda, I go back to the latter part of last season. Sal Sunseri, he started the year kind of barking at Wakuda and coaching Wakuda hard and yelling at him, trying to get him to break those high school tendencies and really grasp the system and the terminology and the moves that Sunseri was trying to teach him. And the latter part of the year, from the week of the LSU game to the remainder of the season, something clicked for Wakuda to where he started having some of the best practices on the field. And it went from Coach Sal yelling to Coach Sal going, there you go, King. About time, Wakuda. Man, that was your best rep all practice. That was your best rep all season. That was patting you on the butt, son. That was your best rep all year, team. About time. You lock it in. You lock it in, young man. You lock it in, son. And I would hear this every single practice down the stretch of the year to where King had started to finally really get it. So here is somebody that was a twitchy, big edge rusher in high school. Latter part of last season, finally started to catch on to, this is what Coach Saban's telling me. This is what Coach Sal is telling me. This is how the older teammates are trying to kind of direct me and push me and show me how to do things the right way and consistently do things the right way. So King Wakuda, another guy that I'm looking forward to seeing sort of step up a bit here. Behind him, Kevin Harris II. Kevin Harris II, a lot like Wakuda in a way. He came in 2019 and a little bit undersized. He's gained some weight, but, Coach Sal was on him, telling Harris, you got to do it like this. You got to cut him off. You got to tackle him like this. You got to take the way, stop chopping your feet like that. Cut and just go. Burst in there and go. Take his head off. I want edge. I want nasty. I want attitude. Take his head off, Kevin. Do you see what I'm telling you? So Coach Sal was getting at Kevin Harris the same way he was getting at Wakuda. And Kevin, he got it. Toward the middle part of the season, LSU game throughout the remainder of the year, Harris starts locking in. Harris starts understanding, okay, this is what I need to do on the field. So he's another one, to kind of keep your eyes on, building that depth, building those creatures on the field where pressure can come from all angles. Another guy here, Jerez Parks. And this is somebody that I'm really high on. I mean, here's a young man at 6'4", 240 pounds. If you remember, he was supposed to have came in the 2017 class. That was supposed to have been his class. We all know the story. You know, Alabama didn't get to him in time in the recruiting cycle, in the commencement, the commitment day, the letter of intent ceremony there, and he had to take the gray shirt and cried on national TV because he really wanted to be at Bama really badly, but he took the gray shirt, he worked out, he trained hard, he had to watch the recruiting class he was supposed to have been in, win a national championship in 2017, but he came to Alabama in the spring of 2018, along with Saban Smith and the young man out of Florida. This is a year for him. Can he break through? Can he crack that rotation? Can he get on the field and show that he can affect the quarterback? He can give you quality minutes, quality energy, quality production, quality plays. Because for the Bama fans out there, when you see a guy like Jerez Parks wanted to be at Alabama so bad, and when he couldn't get here when he wanted to, the emotion, the hurt, the anguish, the pain, the tears on TV, that's the type of young man that fans are going, I want to see him do well. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him excel because he wants to be here. And the guys that want to be in Tuscaloosa, fans really support those guys. So Jerez Parks, another one. And then, last but not least, is this finally the moment, for Ben Davis? People have been waiting on this for a long time. He came in 2016 from Gordo High School, five-star guy. His father, Wayne Davis, was the all-time leader in tackles in the history of Alabama, 327. And people really just thought the moment Ben gets in here, he's going to be great. He's going to get it. He's going to understand it. He's going to be a monster, a dog. It's going to be hard to keep him off the field. He has had some issues sort of mentally locking in, mentally focusing in, having the right mindset of what is the reason why you're at Alabama? Ben Davis is at Alabama, but sometimes he struggled with the reason of, okay, why am I here? What is the purpose of me playing for the Crimson Tide? What is the purpose of me playing for Coach Saban? What is the purpose of me playing for over 100,000 fans, every Saturday in the fall? What's the purpose? What is my why for being here? He had some trouble kind of ironing, hammering that down. I believe now is the time that Davis has finally understood the why he is here, has finally kind of understood the purpose of him coming to the program way back in 2016 as he now enters his, redshirt senior year. Because even though some people have sort of wrote him off, the mass majority of fans still believe in Ben. They're still going, I believe in Ben. I know Ben can do it. I know it's deep down there. I know he can still play. I know he can still be productive. He's just having a hard time. Ben Davis's moment will come, and it's going to be big time, when it comes. So hopefully for Ben, he has locked everything in. He has put all the pieces to the puzzle together, and we can truly see what we were expecting to see, 4 to 5 years ago. We can finally see it, flourish and develop on the field in terms of the 2020 season. So just like people named the, marquee headline names that were special in 2016, there were a lot of role players that stepped up. There were a lot of role players that provide that depth, the quality minutes on the field, the quality energy on the field, the quality production on the field. They made plays. And in the same way they made plays to make the overall team better that year, Alabama fans and the coaching staff is looking for the role players for 2020 to take that same type of initiative and help those star players out, making this defense dynamic. But we take another break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We come back. We unpack more of your phone calls, thoughts, tweets, questions, concerns. Bring them all in here right after this.
T-Town Menswear in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, still popping around, ladies and gentlemen, from the break on the best form of Crimson Tide football news, notes, and information you will find anywhere in my own words with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Monday. Got the man John Ivory here with me in the production studio. And as always, Tide Nation, this is your time. 205-448-1358, the number to call in to voice your opinion. Want to hear from you on Bama football or whatever it is you want to dive into. 205-448-1358. That number one more time, 205-448-1358. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn it on and turn on those notifications so that you can have all the updates, alerts, analysis on your Crimson Tide. But as you guys are getting your thoughts together here, another cool topic, and it goes to one Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith. Smitty is getting some serious praise here from the guys at Pro Football Focus, a site that dives into the analytics of college and the NFL. And according to the graphic that PFF put up over the weekend, Devontae Smith, when targeted, provided a passer rating for quarterbacks of 152.5. That was third in college football behind only Jalen Waddle and Henry Ruggs III. So once again, the passer rating that Smitty provided quarterbacks Tua Tagovailoa and Mac Jones was 152.5 a season ago, according to PFF, which was third in college football behind Jalen Waddle and one Henry Ruggs III. This is a young man that led the team in receiving yards, 1,256, touchdowns with 14, yards per game at 96.6 a season ago, 3 100-yard games, a pair of 200-yard performances. And while, people make the thought of, well, he's got to gain more weight, he's a bit too small at 6'1", 175 pounds, he's got to get bigger. I'm going to introduce two receivers in this conversation that have the same playing weight and just about the same size as Smitty, and either dominate the league or are continuing to dominate the league. First and foremost, Smitty is starting to get quite a few comparisons to Pro Football Hall of Famer and Indianapolis Colts legend Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison was one of my favorite wide receivers of all time. Just let me tell you that right there. Marvin Harrison, he didn't talk a whole lot, wasn't a big talker, a quiet assassin, much like Smitty is. Marvin Harrison, at 6 feet, 185 pounds. He wasn't a big guy. He wasn't a burner. But when you talk about the smoothest route runner in the league at that time, could nobody run routes like Marvin. Smoothest route runner. Very crafty, cunning, deceptive with his route running and speed. Could work off press coverage, could work back to the quarterback. I mean, Peyton Manning to this day is probably in a church right now going, Jesus, thank you so much for allowing the coach to draft Marvin Harrison. I really do appreciate that, because that man saved my butt a few more than 100 times. So, crafty route runner, big time as far as his catch radius. Harrison was catching everything, whether it was in traffic, whether it was post pattern, slant routes, toe tap catches. Just catch radius was incredible. Great route runner, tremendous pass catcher, worked back to the quarterback, highly instinctive, knew how defenses would play him. He played in the NFL for 13 seasons from 1996 to 2008. We're talking 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team NFL All-Pro, Super Bowl champion in the 2006 season. Marvin Harrison was the real deal. And along with him, you've got Deshaun Jackson, who is still in the league. He came out of the University of California, Berkeley in the 2008 draft, and he's 5'11", 175 pounds. The same playing weight as Smitty, couple of inches shorter than Smitty, but Jackson, since 2008, we're talking 5 1,000-yard seasons. We're looking at three-time Pro Bowler and a guy that is the most instant offense weapon that the Eagles have. So Marvin Harrison and Deshaun Jackson, two guys that are on the smaller size as far as, height and weight go, like Smitty, but massively productive, in the NFL. So when people always bring up the fact that, Smitty's too small, he has to gain a whole bunch of more weight, I always kind of bring up the guys that are around Smith's same height and bodily structure that are killing it in the league. Now, Smith may have to put on maybe 5 more pounds. If he can get 6'1", 180, 6'1", $180 is fine. 6'1", 180 pounds is fine for Devontae Smith, because at some point, as I mentioned on last week's show, you are what you are. You are who you are. And for Smith, we know he can catch the football. Smith does not drop passes. We know he's an exceptional route runner. We know he can attack the ball at his highest point. We know he can work back to the quarterback. We know he is a unselfish, willing, stupendous blocker. He turns around, and if he's not getting the football, he's laying that 175-pound frame on somebody and blocking them completely out of the play, doing things that promote good teammate, good attention to detail, good focus. These are just some of the reasons why, Coach Saban really likes Smitty, as a player. So he's trying to get a first-round pick stock and trying to be a top 15, top 20 guy. But according to PFF this past year, 152.5 passer rating he provided, quarterbacks third in college football, and he's looking to do even more in the upcoming season here. We go to our next break here on the show, but continue, folks, to light up the YouTube chat line, light up the call-in, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you, 205-448-1358. Upon our return, we tackle another interesting question. Will we see a freshman start in the secondary? We touch it up after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month, or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, Alabama fans, college football fans as well. We're back into the hottest show in the streets, in my own words, with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Once again, people, be sure to line us up in the YouTube chat line. Be sure to line us up with your questions in the YouTube chat line. Also, 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. But now we look at the Alabama defensive secondary here. Could there be a freshman? Could there be a true freshman to emerge, to rise, to start in this secondary? And for me, it happens in only one of two reasons, right? Reason number one where I could see a true freshman starting is this particular player is just really good, right? You can't keep him off the field. Coaching staff can't keep him off the field. They just become tremendous in the off-season summer program. They're tremendous in the weight training, flexibility, speed program, and they're just outstanding in fall camp. And Nick Saban in his mind is going, there is no way on God's earth we cannot play this young man. We got to play him. We got to start him. So that's one way of where I can see a true freshman start is they just blow everybody away. The number two reason to where a true freshman could start in the secondary, it comes down to Ronald Williams Jr., the JUCO corner out of Louisiana, hails from Hutchinson Community College at 6'2", 188 pounds. Now, Nick Saban, he wants Patrick Surtain to play nickel. That's the goal. That's the idea. Patrick Surtain at nickel is the idea. At star, at the slot corner position, that's where he wants Surtain at. But the only way he can put Surtain there is if Ronald Williams Jr. comes in here, goes beast mode, snaps, clowns, rises, and takes that corner spot. Because right now, Josh Jobe, let's just say for all intents and purposes, because I honestly see this happening, Josh Jobe takes one of the two corner spots because he's going to take one of those two spots. He's aggressive, he's physical, he's mean, he's tough, he's nasty. If he can just learn how to be physical but not let his emotions get in the way of his game, he is going to be a lockdown defensive back. So let's just say for all intents and purposes, that Josh Jobe takes the first corner spot, takes one of the two corner spots. The other spot comes down to Surtain and Ronald Williams Jr. Saban wants Williams taking that spot because not only does it get more DBs, not only does it get more athletes on the field, it allows for Saban to transition Surtain over to nickel. If Williams struggles, if the JUCO young man struggles tremendously, now it becomes Williams would be a backup behind either Jobe or Surtain, because that would keep Surtain at one of the corner spots. You would have to go with what you know, and that would open up an opportunity in that nickel role. That would open up an opportunity in that star role for a freshman. And we've seen what freshmen have been able to do in that role, i.e. Minkah Fitzpatrick in 2015 took on that role, dominated, as I should say, in that role. So the freshman that could be looking for this opportunity, if in the event, I'm not saying it will happen, but if in the event that Ronald Williams Jr. struggles and Patrick Surtain has to stay at outside corner and Ronald Williams has to be the backup, here are the freshmen that could benefit. Number one, we're looking at Brian Branch. Brian Branch can really benefit, the young man from Tyrone, Georgia, Sandy Creek High School, and he was a highlight safety coming out of high school, an interception machine, much like Minkah Fitzpatrick was coming out of St. Peter's Prep School in New Jersey. He was a highlight safety. He was a highlight freshman. So Brian Branch, a guy that can, read the ball, dissect the ball, pick the ball off, undercuts routes, breaks up on passes. So Brian Branch would be the first guy that you think about that could potentially rise and start in the secondary if there was a struggle there to Ronald Williams. Another guy, I would look at Jaquez Robinson. So Jaquez Robinson, who is 6'2", 190 pounds now, out of the Florida area. Robinson came to Alabama early in the prep for the Citrus Bowl. He enrolled on campus early just to get a quick start on, learning the system. And here's a young man that's got long arms, big hands, a lot of length, a lot of physicality, can jam, can run, can defend, can cover. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Trayvon Diggs in terms of the athleticism, but he has the potential to be a bit better or be a lot better than what Trayvon Diggs was in terms of being just a consistent cornerback, a consistent DB, a consistent playmaker in defending the ball, frustrating wide receivers, not allowing them to make big-time catches. So Jaquez Robinson, another guy. A third guy that could be kind of special here is Malachi Moore. The question is, will he be able to get on the field as a freshman? That's the big thing. At 6 feet, 180 pounds, out of Hewitt-Trussville High School here in Alabama. I remember our own Justin Smith, the lead scout and the recruiting analyst for TDA, got a chance to cover Moore a lot. Also Smith, and our own John Ivory, was able to do a day in the life on one Malachi Moore last summer. And, that was pretty awesome to see that as well, just getting a glimpse of how he is as far as a player, as far as a young man, a son, a brother, a teammate, just a full package that is Moore. And according to his head coach, Josh Floyd, a guy that's very instinctive, tough, hard-nosed, great tackler, breaks up on passes, creates turnovers, always around the football. The question that is for him is, will he be able to break through all the guys kind of in front of him to get on the field? I think he has a chance to play. I think Alabama may spot play him if they don't choose to redshirt him. But in terms of starting, can he simply find a way to break through there? And then last but not least, you've got Christian Story out of Lynette High School here in Alabama, the 1A state player of the year, a guy that won a 1A state championship, and an individual that broke a lot of Alabama high school, records, playing quarterback, playing receiver, playing some on defense as well. But his father trained him in how to be strategically, a quarterback. This young man, 6'1", 213 pounds, will play at safety for the Crimson Tide. And, for him, got a ton of athleticism, got a ton of playmaking ability, got the body size as well. But much like, Malachi Moore, can the Christian Story find a way to maneuver everything and push himself onto the field to potentially be a starter? So Alabama's got depth in the secondary. There's a ton of depth here. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of bodies. There's a lot of guys that are 4 and 5 stars. There are a lot of guys that came out of high school as big-time players. There are a lot of guys that have the potential, ability, and capability to be starters. It's just going back to my two thoughts. Number one, which of these freshmen will have Nick Saban go, oh my stars, gotta play him. Cannot have this young man ride the bench. Gotta play him, gotta put him out there, gotta start him. He is leaps and bounds, head and shoulders above everybody else. That's thought number one. Thought number two is, as much as Coach Saban wants to have Patrick Surtain at slot at the nickel corner spot and Ronald Williams Jr. as the outside corner opposite Josh Jobe, Williams at 6'2", 188 pounds. If there is a struggle that happens to Williams, if there's a struggle, if he comes in kind of confused, if he comes in, having a difficulty adjusting from JUCO ball to, major Division I college football marquee program, the mecca of college football, that being the Crimson Tide. If there is a struggle with Ronald Williams, then you can look at having Alabama keeping Surtain at outside corner, Williams being a backup, and this opens the door to a freshman. This opens the door to a highlight, game-changing, big play freshman. Who wants it? Who wants to take advantage of it? Who wants to be, a big-time star? Because in reflecting back to the 2015 season for just a moment here, not only was Minkah Fitzpatrick a starter in that secondary, Ronnie Harrison started too. Ronnie Harrison at that safety position at 6'3", playing weight at that time, 207 pounds, out of Tallahassee, Florida. He started also. And Ronnie Harrison was a emotional man on the loose. People say Ruben's a loose cannon, and Ruben was a loose cannon, don't get me wrong. But Ronnie Hit Stick Harrison, Pimp Juice, Playboy, was a serious loose cannon. Emotional. This is the same Ronnie Harrison that almost got into a fight on the sideline with Reuben Foster, and Eddie Jackson had to come in there and break it up. So that's just a little bit there on how serious Ronnie Harrison took the game, as a freshman, and how serious Minkah Fitzpatrick took the game there as a freshman, but it'll be interesting to see which one of these guys for 2020 can step up here and carve out a role, maybe even potentially start. But folks, as always, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your Crimson Tide. It's simple. You can get this by downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app, and you can get the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you just so happen to have the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we have you covered on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We have you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I will return on Wednesday, continuing with Crimson Tide football talk with the man, Matt Caddell. But till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing those things to legitimately not be bored. Get those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself. Protect the loved ones around you. And until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. This has been In My Own Words.